Okay guys, today we're going to take a look at my PSP collection. The PSP is a system that gets a lot of flack. It seems everyone just kind of complains about it for one reason or another. I actually love this system. This is an RPG player's dream, especially in this generation where the console games, they don't really bring out RPGs anymore for like the mainstream consoles. It's all on the handhelds now. So if you're an RPG player, you really need to look into getting a PSP and a DS. This is my silver PSP that came with the Kingdom Hearts package, and ever since I got this, I have just loved it. It's fantastic. First up, we have Astonish a Story for the PSP, obviously. I haven't got to this one yet. I hear some mediocre things about it, but I found it for like $3, so I had to pick it up. Then we have, I better put it this way, Brave Story New Traveler, an Xseed game. Heard great things about it, so I had to get it. Dracula X Chronicles. Now, this has Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night in it. I already have Symphony of the Night on the PS1, but we never got Rondo of Blood. And that was released on the TurboGrafx, or the PC Engine rather, in Japan, and it never made it over here in America, so I finally picked this up. It has an updated version of the game on it, but I think if you beat it, you get to have the original version as well. Then we have the Final Fantasy IV Complete Collection. I was kind of going back and forth on whether or not I was going to buy this, but then I just decided that, you know, even though I have multiple copies of Final Fantasy IV, I had not yet downloaded the After Years, and there's also a little intermediate chapter between Final Fantasy IV and the After Years, so to get that all in one collection is really nice. And we have Crisis Core here, which is actually, for me, one of the best Final Fantasies that have been released here recently. You know, I played 13, I was massively disappointed by 13, and then I got to this one, and I just love this one. I don't know if it was the Final Fantasy VII setting, or just the change up in the gameplay, but I really did enjoy this game, and once I got to the end, I was really kind of getting choked up because it starts to coincide with some of the events of the first game, Final Fantasy VII, and it just really kind of took me back to the first time I played through Final Fantasy VII. And we have Harvest Moon, Hero of Leaf Valley. I've been really getting into these Harvest Moon games. I don't know what it is, just had to get it. And Hexy's Force. Haven't got around to playing this one yet, but it's an Atlas RPG, so it's probably going to be pretty good. And then we have Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. If you notice closely, this is a printed out cover from the Covers Project, because the version I got came with the PSP, and it was actually in this stupid little, you know, slip cover thing that I don't know why they just didn't put a full copy of it in there. But maybe I'll go to instructionbooklets.com and get a real artwork for it, but for right now this works. Actually, I want to talk about this game a little bit. I hear it's amazing and really good, but when I played it, I was kind of getting burned out on the Kingdom Hearts games, and I got to a point where I got stuck, and I haven't gone back to it, but I really plan on giving this another shot because everyone just goes on and on about it. But, you know, I've already talked about the Kingdom Hearts series in my PlayStation 2 video, so... up next we have the Legend of Heroes Trilogy that was put out by Bandai. Now the interesting thing about this series is technically this is how they were released, but this is the chronological order of the series because for some reason in America Bandai released what is technically the fourth game first in the Legend of Heroes series, and then 3, and then 2. And it gets really confusing because now this is Legend of Heroes 1, Legend of Heroes 2, Legend of Heroes 3. I don't know whose fault that was, but they should probably be fired for that, you know, oversight. But I got all these because of the next game, which is Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. I actually do have the big box set for this, but for shelf space purposes, I just keep the actual game on the shelf. But this game, I just loved to pieces. By the time I got to the end of it, and the story between Estelle and Joshua, I actually got choked up a little bit at the end, and it's a huge cliffhanger. And Xseed, come on guys, you got about a year before the Vita comes out, so let's just release, you know, Sora no Kiseki, second chapter, and the third, and then release Zero no Kiseki and Ao no Kiseki. Just release them all in one big block like you did the Ys games. But I bought the original Legend of Heroes trilogy because I loved this game so much, and I wanted to give the Legend of Heroes series some more love. And then, like the last game, I do have the big box set for this. This is Lunr Silver Star Harmony, another Xseed. Xseed is really bringing out some great stuff for the PSP. This is a remake of the, Sega CD, PlayStation 1, all the various consoles this was on. It was on the Game Boy Advance too, but this is a new updated version of it. And Lunr is one of those games that I think everyone should experience. It's just got a great story. They don't make RPGs like this anymore. It's just so endearing and so charming. And then we have Popo LaCroix, which I hear is a fun little RPG. Haven't got to it yet, but found it for cheap. Silent Hill Origins. If you've watched my videos, you know I'm a huge Silent Hill fan. I was debating on whether to get this one for the PSP or the PS2, and finally I just saw the PSP version for really cheap, so I got it. Next we have Persona 1 and Persona 2. Persona 1 I don't have the box set for. I bought it used, just in the case. But I did buy the box set for Persona 2. Haven't got to the Persona series, or haven't got to these ones yet, but I plan to get to them here soon. And then if you watch the rest of my videos, you know that this series has given me a huge problem. I love Star Ocean. I love it to death, but I have never beat a Star Ocean game until literally like 10 minutes ago. I finally beat Star Ocean First Departure, and that's really why I'm kind of making this PSP video, because I just want to say, yes, I have finally beat a Star Ocean, so I'm well on my way to beating the other, 3 games. I don't have Second Evolution for the PSP because I have the second story for PS1, but I might pick up the Second Evolution because I really enjoyed this PSP version of the game. And we got Tactics Ogre, which I do have the, it came with tarot cards if you pre-ordered it at GameStop, so I have those upstairs with the rest of my pre-order bonus and boxes stuff. I love strategy RPGs, I love tactic RPGs, and this is supposed to be one of the great ones. This started off on the Super Nintendo, and then they ported it to the PS1, and now they get a PSP port, so instead of paying, a ridiculous amount of money for those earlier games, I just picked up the newest version. Tales of Eternia. Now, this is my sort of one and only import for the PSP so far because, a great thing about the PSP is it is region-free. And, Tales of Eternia, which they called it Tales of Destiny 2 on the PlayStation 1. They did not release this in America. This is a European copy, and it plays just fine. So, if you guys notice that you're missing some games in your series, and if they get released in Europe, just import some Europe copies because they'll play fine on your PSP. But as a lover of the Tales series, I was debating on whether I wanted to spend, however much money Tales of Destiny 2 was on the PS1. I think it's like up to $60 or $70, or just buy this for $30. So I went with this. Save money where you can. It'd be nice to have the original copies of games, but sometimes these PSP versions work out best, which is like this. Valkyrie Profile Lunr, which is a port of the PS1 Valkyrie Profile game. The PlayStation 1 game, complete in the box, will run you about $70, $80. I think I got this for $15, so that's a massive savings. That equals more games, so, save money where you can. Yagdra Union, which is supposed to be a kind of a weird strategy RPG. I guess Sting really makes, which Sting is the company that developed this, they make some really kind of interesting strategy RPGs, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this, but I found it at GameStop one day, and I was just like, oh, I gotta get it. Every so often when you go in the GameStop, you'll see interesting things and you just have to pick up. Ys Arc of Nepishtim. I already have this, and I've beat it on the PlayStation 2, but like I said for the last game, I found a copy of this for $6 at GameStop, so I had to pick it up just to complete my Ys collections. I hear that the load times on this are pretty bad, so I'll see when I get to it, because I just beat Arc of Nepishtim like a couple years ago, so I'm not really dying to get into this one right yet, but you know, it's Ys. Gotta have it. Just like these. Once again, I have all the box sets for these, but just for shelf space, I just put out the cases. So we have E7, which was fantastic. It really kind of felt like a modern-day Secret of Mana in that, you know, you have the three-person party and you can switch between the characters, and I mean, a lot of people don't like the party system in it. I personally kind of dug it, although there were certain characters that I never used. And then we have Othonfell, which is a remake of the third game, The Wanderers of Ys, which, you know, the third game gets a lot of flack because it's so different from the rest of them. It's a side-scrolling game, kind of like Faxanadu and Zelda 2. But I really like the third game in the series, and this is an excellent port of it. It's interesting to see all the different places, instead of it being on a side view, it being overhead perspective. And guys, this is one of the reasons to own. These are really one of the reasons to own a PSP, because these Ys games are just fantastic. I haven't got to 1 and 2 Chronicles yet because I've already beat book 1 and 2 on the Virtual Console, and while I'm dying to see what they did with it in this updated version, it's not high on my to beat list because I've already played through the games. But I do plan on getting to this here pretty soon. But Othonfell is fantastic. So is E7. I'm really hoping that Ys 4 gets brought over here for the Vita. And then finally, my one and only UMD. I found this at GameStop for like $2. I love Pink Floyd. It's a thing about Dark Side of the Moon. I haven't watched it yet because, I don't know, I'm just lazy, I guess. But that's my one and only UMD. I don't think I'll be buying any more because while the PSP screen is really awesome, I would rather watch movies on the big screen. So that is my PSP collection. I do plan on adding some more stuff to it. I'm trying to think if I have any. I don't have any pre-orders put in for it right now, but there are a few games coming out here that I'm kind of watching to see if they come over. But the PSP, it really gets a lot of flack, and it gets kind of shoved in the corner at GameStop, and you can barely find games for it. But there are so many great RPGs out there for it. It really is sort of an RPG heaven for for me. I ever since I bought it, I haven't even looked back. So if you don't have a PSP, guys, go out and give it a chance. You can probably find one for pretty cheap. The only drawback is because it uses the UMDs. It has that disk drive, which sucks battery power, and eventually those drives will fail. Whereas with cartridges, as long as the contact leads are okay, you're good to go. So that's really the only downfall to it that I can find. But yeah, actually, I really love the PSP. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next video.